Bristol, England has a certain energy, a vibe, a personality that gives it a unique character and a bit of quirkiness. Bristolians will tell you their town has all the best bits of a large city like London, but it's more laid back, friendly, livable, and a lot less expensive. Bristol is England's eighth largest city with a population of just a little over a half a million. It's racially diverse and it's young. There are two universities in Bristol, and it attracts a lot of well-educated young professionals. Bristol was and is a port city. The River Avon flows nearby on its way to the Bristol Channel. On the other side of the channel is southern Wales. Shipping played a major role in the history of Bristol, but it wasn't always a good role. From 1700 to 1807, hundreds of Bristol ships carried over 500,000 African slaves to the Americas. After they dropped off their human cargo, they returned to England filled with tobacco, exotic fruit, and other plantation goods. When the slave trade was abolished, Bristol went into decline. The railroad helped reinvigorate Bristol. Engineer Isambard Kingdom Brunel designed the Great Western Railroad that connected London's Paddington Station to the Temple Mead Station in Bristol, a distance of a little over 100 miles. The first train arrived in 1838. Eventually, this ornate, cathedral-like station was built. Bristol is only 10 miles from one of the most visited tourist locations in Great Britain, the city of Bath, with its Roman bath and great Abbey Church on the River Avon. Brunel also designed the Great Clifton Suspension Bridge over the Avon Gorge. Bristol experienced extensive bomb damage during the Second World War. Much of the city center lay in ruins. The remains of St. Peter's Church and Castle Park stands as a memorial to the 1,300 who lost their lives during the raids. When it came time to rebuild in the early 1960s, the preference was for skyscrapers and mid-century modern architecture. One of the buildings, though, that was left just as it was John Wesley's New Room Meeting House, built in 1739. It's the oldest Methodist church in the world. For tourists looking for vintage architecture and quaintness, Bristol can be a bit jarring. A large roundabout designed to allow pedestrians to safely cross busy highways is covered in graffiti, but it's by design. This area was once a haven for the homeless, the mentally ill, and the addicted, but it's being transformed. It's now an art-filled public space called the Bear Pit. The city still has homeless people, but the government and local churches have stepped in to help. The oldest church in Bristol, St. Philip's and St. Jacob's, founded in the year 1000, was about to close a few years ago when its congregation, which had dwindled to a handful of parishioners, decided to reinvent itself, actually to go back to its original mission of serving the poor. The church, known locally as the Pip and J Church, now has a vibrant congregation dedicated to living the gospel by taking care of those most in need. Taking time to travel to places like Bristol, England is time well spent. It gives you new insights and perspectives on life and people. Travel is, after all, one of the few things we can buy that will make us richer.